Welcome to Elementz Foundation of Audio. I am Prince, the artist. Today we're going to be going over limiting, or what a limiter is. A limiter is cut from the same cloth as a compressor. It limits the audio signal, as well as you're able to boost the entire audio signal together. So it's the same thing, but we're going to be using something called a brick limiter. So it literally is like a brick wall. Nothing can go through it. There's many compressors out there. There's a bunch at Elementz. There's the Waves. There's the Pro Tools. I think there's like maybe 4 different at Elementz, but it all applies the same way. Today I'm going to be using my Fab filter. I think the Waves L1 is a great one too. Shout out to DJ Nardi for sending another track this week called Cold Hearted. He sent it over. Let's take a listen.
But I'm on a mission. They think they lit, but they don't know what they be missing.
Father, forgive me of my sins, I've been cold-hearted. Everything I had to slaughter. Water pour, always gotta be the martyrs. Let this cup pass, yeah, from my brick and mortar. Face frozen, no emotion, I don't care. Blank stares while you talk, I don't wanna hit. A chip on my shoulder, yeah, bring the chisel here. My pride need to go before the Lord reappear.
Cold-hearted, baby, you know my hardest. Cold-hearted, baby, you know how I started. Yeah, wait.
Well, that's the track. And first I want to say, if you have music that you want to share, put that in the comments or share it with me directly. You can DM me, direct message me on Instagram at Prince the Artist, THEE. We wanna know what you're working on, and maybe one of your tracks can be featured on later episodes and later tutorials. So send that over. So as we see here, I finished my verse on the song, and I just have the exported track and his vocals. But there's one big, huge problem, is that there is digital clipping. Let's listen.
Posted, but I'm on a mission. They think they lit, but they don't know what they be missing.
Father, look at that. Forgive me of my sins, I've been cold-hearted. This is the stereo track. So this is the stereo track, and it's clipping by 4 decibels. It's not acceptable. So what we have to do, there's 2 solutions here. So we can either turn down the entire track, that track, my vocals, everything, turn it down and give us headroom, and then apply a limiter, or you can just apply a limiter straight on. So I think one of the best ways, like if you're in the studio, if you're in Beats and Rhymes, the best way is just to bring everything down. Let me show you.
They don't know what they be missing.
Father, forgive me of my sins, I've been cold-hearted. Everything I had to slaughter. Water pour, always gotta be the martyrs. Let this cup pass, yeah, from my brick and mortar. See, still gotta go down lower. Let's see.
Posted, but I'm on a mission. They think they lit, but they don't know what they be missing.
Father, forgive me of my sins, I've been cold-hearted. Everything I had to slaughter. Water pour, always gotta be the martyrs. Let this cup pass, yeah, from my brick and mortar. Face frozen, no emotion, I don't care. Blank stick. Oh, these are too loud still. So this is just really mixing, but instead of using a limiter, you can control your dynamics just by the volume, like I've said in the last video.
They think they lit, but they don't know what they be missing.
Father, forgive me of my sins, I've been cold-hearted. Martyr, face frozen, no emotion, I don't care. Here we go. Stairs while you talk, I don't wanna hit. A chip on my shoulder, yeah, bring the chisel here. My pride need to go before the Lord reappear. So that's one way. I've solved my clipping problem. I've controlled the dynamics. And now the other way is throwing a limiter on there. Let me just bring these back up to normal speed, normal volume. Bring this one back up a little bit, pop that back in there, and bring this up a little bit more. So now we have that clipping problem again. You hear it now, that crunch. Pop open this limiter. So I threw the limiter on the stereo out track. It's basically out the box, just ready. I'm not gonna go over mastering, but this is just the foundations of audio where we're reducing the dynamic range of the signal. All you have to do is pull down the threshold. We learned what threshold was last week. You pull down that threshold and then you raise the overall gain of the whole entire track, just like the compressor. But mine makes it really easy. I have something where I have the one-on-one. If I press this button right here, that basically, it does it all together for me. So all I have to do is bring down this. This is a threshold. It says gain, but it's a threshold, as you can see. So let me just turn this off so you can see. So let's just try this out. Ready?
They don't know what they be missing.
Father, forgive me. Turn it on. Since I've been cold-hearted. See? Everything I had to slaughter. Water pour, always gotta be the martyrs. Let this cup pass, yeah, from my brick and mortar. Face frozen, no emotion, I don't care. You see this? It's frozen at -2. I can bring it down a little bit. It's not going over that. It's dead. It's dead at that right there. Super simple. You can bring up the look ahead a little bit. It just looks ahead to know what it's doing. You can bring down the attack, so it's a little bit quicker, but it's frozen there. And I solved the same problem. Now, let me just go back. Super easy. Limiters are super easy. You don't want to abuse it too much though.
Posted, but I'm on a mission. They think they lit, but they don't know what they be missing.
Father, forgive me of my sins, I've been cold-hearted. Everything I had to slaughter. So it's just like that 4 dB that we're seeing over is now gone. It's just hitting that brick limiter. Super simple, super duper simple. Let me just show you. This is a little bit simpler limiter. Let me show you on the stock plug-in. Pop this open. Has a couple more controls, but the same thing, that gain, that release. So let's watch. Turn that on.
They think they lit, but they don't.
It should say going over 4. Yeah, see? 4. Bang. Everything I had to slaughter. So we're gonna say I want it to be -1 dB. See, now it's about -1 dB, and then we can also gain it a little bit. And that's it. My pride needs to go before the Lord reappear. Yeah, it's that simple, guys. Super simple. That's an easy way to control your dynamics. Stay tuned for next week's video. We're going to be going over de-essing, those S's and all those, to get those out and get a nice clean vocal. We're going to kind of be going over that. Until then, peace and love.
They don't know what they be missing.
Father, forgive me of my sins, I've been cold-hearted. Hey, hey. Everything I had to slaughter. Water pour, always gotta be a martyr. Let this cup pass, yeah, from my brick and mortar. Face frozen, no emotion, I don't care.